This is your boy Lamar Spacey, and we are back with another installment of Space Station Conversations. And this one I've been waiting for a long time. I think the last one was probably 2 years ago, right?
I would say about 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. Damn, we've been doing this for a little while now, but our brother is back, the one and only Calvin Winder III. How you been, my brother?
I've been great. You feel me? Everything's been going well. I can't complain.
Word, man. I have a couple questions, man. And I hope I'm able to ask them. I hope you don't, you know what I mean? Because you've been having a lot going on right now.
For sure.
My bro is a married man.
Yeah, I got married, the 27th? So yeah, that was almost
27th of
November. So that was almost been 2 weeks.
And I'm disappointed because I just started this new job. Our dad was working second shift. That literally the week after that, starting that Monday, I went back to first shift. Now my days are available. I'm back recording now, so as y'all see. But how does it feel?
I mean, to be honest, for me, it's like, I don't know, it's like multiple emotions involved. Like, it's like, it feels surreal because it's like, wow, here I am. But I mean, it's a beautiful experience because I really married my soulmate. Like, I'm really with somebody that I genuinely love. So.
You genuinely, you can say, and you let me start by saying, most people, you're only 25. You just turned 25.
I just turned 25.
You're very young. Most people will probably say, yo, you got your whole life ahead of you still.
Right.
You might be a little
No, for sure. I mean,
so you can genuinely say this.
I could genuinely say that with my chest out, with my heart out. You know that, I don't know. You feel me? Me as an individual, I'm a very sound thinker. I'm very observant. I pay attention to the details. So it's just one thing. It's different, I guess. I didn't expect us to jump into love so early in the conversation, but
things happen.
But no, when you really genuinely connect with somebody and you really love them and it's been reciprocated, it's natural. It just flows. And my relationship with my wife is just so organic. It was built on faith. It was built on trust. It was built on a friendship. We were friends first. You feel me? Like I went to kindergarten with this girl. Okay. I knew her through elementary school. I knew her in high school. We never dated. We were just good friends. So it was like when we came together, it was just like that friendship was already established and it was just building on.
It was like something was meant to happen. I didn't see it quite yet, but something was always kind of there.
Right. And I mean, it gets real spiritual too in a sense too, because I remember when we first started dating, this was I want to say 2017.
So about 5 years now.
Yeah. We first originally started dating. I was, going through my transformation. I just had joy and got into the church. So, my lifestyle was changed drastically. And I think that was one of the things that appealed her in my direction. Because it was wow, he's really changing his life for the better.
Two things I want to know. Mm-hmm. When you said wife, you didn't even it just came right out. So you're used to saying it already.
Yeah.
You gotta come it's all you
I
love that.
Bro, it's man wasn't made to be alone.
Exactly.
That's my helpmate. That's my wife. So it's I gotta honor that. I made a vow. I made a commitment before a cloud of witnesses, before people. Why would it's sad because in today's society, a lot of people look at marriage as a bad thing. It's tarnished. There's prenups, or you too young, or you don't know no better, or things change. But I'll say this, when you have a very open line of communication with your significant other, and you can communicate, and you can let your interests be known, your desires be known, and you can agree, two can't walk together unless they agree. So if you agree, it works. I don't know. It's collaborative. It makes sense. It flows.
I definitely.
It's not a tug of war thing. Love is love. It's natural. It's an emotion. It's a natural piece of love. That's how we were made. It's by love. So it's when you really connect with somebody and you're really tied in with somebody, it's not hard because it's not forced. I didn't put a gun to her head and say, "Oh, you gotta marry me," and she sure didn't put a knife to my back and say, "Boy, you better marry me."
That's kind of the second thing I wanted to get into. So it's with your transformation and all that, was that something as far as religion Was that something she was already into, or did you bring her on board?
I feel
once
like
y'all got together.
I feel like that was something that she always wanted because she always shared that with me. But that comes in culturally, being taught that, and being, raised up in faith as well. And coming from a married household, that's like the expectation. So, I mean, it was something that she always wanted. And for myself, honestly, even in when I was a young knucklehead, like I always see myself having a family, building on my own. Because, for me as a child, I had my parents. My mom was with my father up until I would say I was about like 6, 7. My little brother came into the picture, but like their relationship didn't last. Then as years went by, I seen my mom remarried. She married my stepfather, and their relationship lasted. Like they're still standing to this day.
That kind of.
So like that was a model example for me in a sense too. Like my mom showed me that love is real, but my mother always taught me that love was real. And I am not, and I'm gonna be honest with you, because when I was a teenager, like that was the last thing I was ever thinking about.
That's what I'm saying. You're still only 25, so it's like to hear that you're so confident in this and to know that your heart is really set on this, like that's amazing to me to hear.
Yeah, nah, because at the same time, for me, more so, it's like I'm a man now. Like when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I act like a child. I had my fun. Not boasting in it, but I had my fair share. I had experiences.
Seen it all.
I've been through some things, so it was just like, okay, when something's authentic and it's real and it's before you and it's presented to you, it's like, I don't know why run from it, So that's just my thought. I don't know, like that's just me.
I definitely feel you. So. All right, now. The marriage happened, and y'all went on y'all honeymoon. Y'all went out to Jamaica. Just explain that. How was that trip? And that's not your first time going overseas, is it?
That's to be specific. When it comes to Jamaica, that's actually this is my third time.
Oh, damn.
So I went.
Jamaica.
I really do have a nice connection with the country because it's a beautiful country. The hospitality, the humility, the people, the food, the culture is very rich, and I feel like anybody that hasn't traveled out of the country should put Jamaica on their destination list.
And obviously you are vaccinated.
Oh yes, I am vaccinated. I mean,
you can't get anywhere without being so.
So definitely. I mean, over there though, they're going through a lot with the pandemic, so it's kind of recommended.
I do want to get into that, but I do want to focus on you first.
For sure, no, absolutely. So like, with me I went to Ocho Rios, This was, I would say, my first time as an adult being in Ocho Rios, because the first time I ever went to Jamaica, I was a child. So, like, it's a total different experience from a child until an adult.
You're there because
I'm an adult now, and you feel me? And I'm with my wife. So it was just it was really relaxing, very, I don't know, it was like in paradise, because it's just, I don't know, man, Jamaica's just a beautiful country. And I don't want to sound like a spokesperson, because, I'm really not. I have no Jamaican origin. I'm not Jamaican at all. But like that's a culture and a country that I've connected with in a sense. I have a lot of like family friends that are Jamaican, so it's just like, I don't know.
It's like you go certain places and you already feel like you're at home.
Right. And that's like one of those places. So I mean the weather was beautiful. It was 85 degrees. It felt good to get out of this 38 degree weather.
You can see yourself moving out there?
I mean, I could definitely see myself getting a vacation house out there. I was talking about that while I was over there, because it's like, I feel like once I'm in a position where I could really give back the way I desire to give back, I feel like that's a country I'll definitely go back to and give back to.
Hell yeah.
Especially like the mental health crisis over there. There's a significant mental health crisis going on over there as well. That's undershadowed because like culturally, people frown upon mental health. And I feel like they could benefit from more like resources. So that's something in the future I would definitely want to look
into. You're saying it's a lot of mental health stuff going on out there.
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like in the sense of like within young people, you're seeing a lot of anxiety, depression, severe cases of schizophrenia. But
so if you actually like mingle, like you talk to people out there, you actually been around.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not, it's good to go out there for the vacation aspect and to enjoy the beautiful aspect of the country, but what good is it to go there if you're gonna just stay at the resort? You gotta get that experience. You gotta get the authenticity of the country. what the locals are going through. What are they enduring? What's the hardships going on over there? You know, that's just kind of person I am. I'm more insightful. And
I definitely feel, I never really thought about it that way.
So, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm coming as a tourist. Yes, I'm coming as a guest. And yes, I'm going to enjoy the good of your land. But also, you know, enlighten me. What's going on around here? What seems to be going on? And, you know, that country specifically, their bread and butter is tourism. You know, they benefit off the tourists visiting the land, and with the whole pandemic thing going on, it hasn't really been giving it. With the whole pandemic, it's been kind of like hindering, because you know some people aren't traveling right now, but those that are, you know,
that's what I'm
benefiting from. So
it's kind of cool to see, because like with everything that's going on, you just like, man, it's my honeymoon, man. I'm out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Had to get up out of here.
Yeah, not even like to the West Coast or like Vegas or something. Like you actually went somewhere. Like you was like, nah, I'm getting up out of here.
No, definitely.
And it's like, there's places where I've heard, like where once you go there, you have to be on like a quarantine for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Did you have to go through anything like that?
I mean, it's interesting because like before you even get there, there's like an application process you have to go through. Whereas you have to like notify the board of health that you're attending.
Yeah, like so much.
Yeah, no, it's a process, but it's really not that tedious, because it's like you could do it online, you could do it on the app real quick.
Oh, okay.
But it pretty much tells you like you're a high risk, because just where we're at, and most importantly, they're high risk. Like COVID's really bad over there right now. So at first I was really not scared, but I was a little fearful. Cause I'm like, what if I go down there and I get stuck down there, like I can't leave or something?
Yeah,
or I have to be on like on a 21-day quarantine or something like that. But with me being vaccinated, it like eliminated a lot of that. And at the same time, I think that was just, I feel like it's protocol, but like once you're there, you don't really have, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know.
It's like they talk a lot, but then once you get there, it's a little more lenient.
Yeah, it's like they put all these parameters on paper, and it makes you very fearful. Like, is it even worth traveling here? But then, like, once you're there, you still have access to the excursions. They're just very sanitized. They'll sanitize you. They'll sanitize your shoes. They're gonna make sure you wearing your mask. They're making sure you're clean. But other than that, once you're about and you're spending some money,
as long as you're careful, you'll be alright, pretty much.
Just be very mindful and be respectful. I don't know, you gotta be respectful. You can't just be visiting people's turf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Kind of way.
Come on, man. See shotters and all that. Like, you ain't even see like nothing like crazy. Like nobody's giving you side like American tourists, man. You looking like lick. Like, I mean, I know you're not a scary dude, but like, was that like anything?
Nah, I mean, because like I don't know, like I just don't move like that. Like, I'm a tourist, yeah, but like I'm not stupid,
This is your world.
I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna move paranoid, because then I'm not gonna enjoy myself. Because if I'm paranoid, that means I'm not at ease. I'm not comfortable. So I mean, now to be honest, have I been to Kingston? No. Have I been in the? I've been in the trenches. Last time I was out there, I was in the trenches, and they recommend you not to be there. But like, as long as you know how to move, you cool. You feel me? Like, I don't know. It's just, you're not gonna go out there and be arrogant or disrespect their land. Like, you just there's just things you should know as a person what to and what not to do. So like, when I be out there, it's just be cool. If anything, they just trying to make some money. Honestly speaking,
people just trying to like offer you.
Yeah, they offer you stuff. They offer you like, they do their own little excursions. Like, they must own their own little boat, so they'll try to offer you like a boat ride or something, and it'll be cheaper than any of the other major excursions. But at the end of the day, you can't even knock it, because that's just the way they live. They just trying to get it how they get it. And at the end of the day, our money speaks value over there. So it's like, if I could just get $20, I'm good. If I could just get $10, I'm good. That could feed their whole household. So as long as they can make some kind of money. But I respect the hustle, though. It's just life, They live off the land. It's a third world country, so they gotta do what they gotta do. They don't have the same luxuries we do. Yeah. So you gotta,
they gotta live how they live and get by how they get by.
I had a young man, because when I was out there, I'm still in school, so like I'm doing like assignments on my laptop and stuff. And he said something to me like, "You in school?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, I'm in school." He's like, "Must be nice, man. Like, how is it?" I'm just looking at him like, "Bro, it's school." But like, I had to realize, like, that's not every day. They don't have that same luxury. It costs a lot to go to school for them. Like they don't have that liberty to just be like, I'm gonna go to school. So when he was just so intrigued and asking me about school, I was like, do you want to go to school?
Was he like a high school kid or?
Nah, I'd say he was like a young adult. Like he had to be around like our age, anywhere by 25, 26, 27. He had 2 small children. He was just sharing with me like his desire to go to school, to be an architect. And I told him, I said, bro, just put your mind to it. For me, he's a good dude. So, I made sure I blessed him. My boy Marco.
What you been going to school for so far?
So I'm in school right now. I'm pursuing my associates in psychology. Yeah. So I'm a psych major. So God willing, everything continues going the way it's supposed to. I'll be graduating in May this year. Technically next year.
Yeah,
so
2022.
May of 2022, I'll graduate my associates in psychology. School.
So you already been pretty much getting your feet wet, and you already talking to people, seeing where their head is at.
Right.
And that's one thing. Psychology kind of goes into this.
Mm-hmm.
With the pandemic and COVID and stuff going on. Of course, there's people that's getting it. There's people that's not getting it. There's people that have their own beliefs.
Right.
Of course, the Kyrie Irving thing.
Right.
Andrew Wiggins had his religious beliefs about it.
Right.
You already have it, but what is your mindset on people that might not want to get it for whatever reason?
You mean in regards to like the vaccine and things
like that?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, I was very anti-vax for a very long time.
Understandably so.
Throughout the whole pandemic, I was fighting it literally by faith and I really didn't take it necessarily not serious, but I really was it was a sickness that was in the earth, and it is what it is. Because I was working at a nursing home. When COVID really hit, I was initially working at a nursing home as a cook. So at the nursing home, I seen how bad it was. I had hazmat gear.
For older folks.
Yeah, I seen a lot of older people lose their life to it, firsthand. Oh, wow. So that time, I don't even think the vaccine was around yet, but it was talks about it. And I was just real adamant. I felt like I was strong. I was healthy. I was young. There was no need for it. So, I'll say, because that pandemic lasted a while.
We still in a pandemic.
Yeah, no, I know it's a global pandemic. But, 2020, it was real. Because, I said, I was at the nursing home. So, I seen a lot of people getting sick. I seen so much fear. I seen fear in people. People was coming to work crying because they didn't want to be on a unit that had COVID. It was
that's scary.
It was like a plague. It's like a plague hit the earth, which it really is. But it's crazy because you hear about it in stories, you see it in a movie, but this was real life for us, And watching that period, I was just very mindful. I was vigilant. I didn't really step out nowhere during the pandemic. I was home.
That's the crazy thing. I feel like I had more fun in 2020 than this year. Yeah. But I was following more protocol last year than this year because it's honestly, it does get tiring sometimes having to
gotta live.
Wear the mask and all that.
You gotta live. You definitely gotta live your life because I remember when 2020, the pandemic hit, Florida was a place you should not go. Florida was a place that no man's land. You should have never gone to Florida because Florida was so high risk. The government was allowing people to just chill. The beaches were open. Everything was open in Florida. And at that time, me and my girl at the time, well, she was my girl then, she's my wife now, but we went to Key West. We went to Key West, Florida. I ain't tell nobody. Supervisor, nobody knew. I just didn't. But it was needed because that daunting reality every day, it'll suck life out of you. It'll depress you. It'll put you down. And going to Key West was a great trip. I enjoyed myself. Even when I was over there, I was still vigilant. I still washed my hands, sanitized, stuff like that. I stayed away from large crowds. Never been the type to be in a large crowd like that anyway. So, but I still enjoyed myself during the pandemic. It's just the way you carry yourself. You just got to know how to move, when to move. And I guess to answer your original question concerning the vaccine and players and people taking a stand against it, I'm all for it. I truly believe if you live according to your own convictions, and like I said, initially I was anti-vaccine. I had my primary care physician recommend it, practically try to persuade me on why I should get it. And I said no. I resisted it for a long time. But I think what got me to actually go forth and get it was I was wedding planning. You know,
you're gonna want to be around
a lot
your
of family and
friends,
the elderlies
ones.
And stuff like that. Then I took into consideration the fact, like, if I want to do clinician work and I really want to get into hospital settings and these environments, that's gonna be a requirement, you know.
Obviously, travel.
That was a big piece for me as well. So I mean, you know, I went with that, but like, this is probably my first time publicizing it, so I don't want it to be like I'm pro-vax either. It's just something I felt like I needed to do, so I did it. So for the Kyrie Irvings, the Andrew Wiggins, take your stand, you know.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm on my Kyrie Irving right now, but most of my family has it. Just me and Sahar are the only ones in the house that don't have it right now. So it's like, I'm really waiting till they say like, yo, you can't even earn a living, like you can't go nowhere, you have to stay home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once it gets to that point,
you know,
then maybe. But honestly, I ain't gonna lie, like it's been on my mind. Like I've been thinking like, yo, I do want to dip, I do want to go out and do things.
Right.
I can't even go. The city is my usual getaway spot. Can't do nothing out there.
That's tough.
Without vaccines.
I think that's tough.
You know what I mean?
Like how they did that to the New Yorkers.
Literally, that's the reason why Kyrie's not even in the league right now. But I did just see something today. Apparently, there are spots where you don't have to be vaccinated out there, but you do have to wear your mask at all times starting Monday in those places.
Right. I remember I had a conversation with a group of friends of mine, and we were talking about like New York and how they mandated it, because like the whole Kyrie thing was a big deal, and I was just I said my perspective on that was just more so like him as an individual, he's standing for what he believes in, so you know you gotta respect it. But then at the same time, you gotta think about this, how New York during the pandemic, they were really, really, really bad. To the point, like I'm talking about death tolls and people really being, you know, there's a lot of corpse, unfortunately, a lot of lives were lost. So I kind of got why they were so strict with it. But like I said, I'm all pro-choice. Whatever choice you like, I feel like we all should have a choice. We all have free will. So like I mentioned earlier, just live into your own convictions. If it's in your heart not to, then stand on that. And if it's in your heart to do it, then do it. You know, like I said, this is my first time publicizing me even being vaccinated. Like I ain't go around like, oh, I'm vaccinated.
And I hope I didn't. Like,
no, you're fine. No, but you know, I just want to put that in the air, in the space, so people know, like, just because I did it don't mean you gotta run and go do it. Like when I got it, like I was on social media taking a picture of my car, like just got vaxxed. Like that's just not me. I'm a very private person like that anyways. But I mean, hey, ultimately though, it's ultimately an individual choice, and whatever choice you decide to make, that's on you.
I definitely feel that. I'm gonna make a decision pretty soon.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because my family, they've been talking to me. You know what I mean? They want me to be at family reunions coming up and stuff like that. So it's just really something to think about.
Definitely.
But apparently now, you're back in the States.
Right.
It's grind time now.
Oh, absolutely.
Apparently you got some things that's about to take place.
Yeah.
If you can speak a little, you don't have to reveal everything, but just give us a gist of what Cal's about to get into.
Okay,
for 2022.
It's funny because the last time I was on the podcast, we spoke about Cal's Code, and it's funny because we talk about the pandemic, we talk about everything going on, but that's what hindered that original project. The pandemic really said a lot. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still trying to get in the works. Yeah, so like, I mean, of course, I would love to bring Cal's Code to fruition. I would definitely want to bring that to the forefront. But I kind of grateful though for the pandemic in a sense too, because it allowed me to hone in on other areas. Like it helped me and my wife develop our relationship. That was a key component. It allowed me to concentrate on school. That was a real key component. So now when I present Cal's Code, there's gonna be more behind it, because there's gonna be more substance. There's gonna be more growth than what it was from 40 Days and 40 Nights. 40 Days, 40 Nights was my first project. So the time lapse between the two now, significant events transpired in the meantime. So that just gives me more substance and more influence of some sort to present before the people. So I would say I definitely now want to make sure I want to work on Cal's Code and get that out there. And I would say especially because a lot of the kids that I work with or worked with or encounter, whenever they watch that first documentary, they're like, yo, you need to make another one. So it's always that constant that affirmation, that confirmation, like, kid, like, don't
like,
forget about this.
People actually want to see you put in that work.
Keep growing and blossoming and whatnot. So I definitely want to make sure I bring that to fruition. I want to make sure I do that and make sure that it's successful too. Because, you know, in this time and age, everybody has a platform. Everybody has a voice, you know, and anybody can say anything nowadays. And somebody's going to receive it. Somebody's going to be receptive to it. Some people are going to reject it. But my whole basis of everything I ever really speak upon or interact with is all like purpose-based. So if it's not aligned with my purpose, then 9 out of 10, you probably won't really see me in it. But when it's purpose-based, I know that it's fire. I know it's coming with passion and effort. So, you know, that's something to look forward to because I know for sure it's going to be better than my last.
Now, that's one thing I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to make Cal's Code like a podcast or like a video series or anything like that?
I mean...
Yeah, ever thought about it?
You know, it's funny that you say that because I honestly had people tell me like they would... It sounds crazy, but I really had people tell me that I should do like voiceovers. Like some people say my voice is very soothing. Like they can hear my voice.
Pause, but I see what they say.
You feel me? Because like the way I articulate myself, I'm very mellow, very laid back, very soft spoken at times. So it's like I don't know. I have a voice clearly. So I heard people tell me that like, oh, you should do like a podcast or you should do a show or you could write a book. I've been hearing all kinds of stuff. And the thing is, I'm open to a lot of it. It's just the timing with me because I'm the type of person, I don't have all my eggs in one basket. So I'm multitask. I do a lot of different things, but at the same time, I always got to stay focused on what my bread and butter, like what made me, what brought me here, where I'm at now. So I always got to keep that on the center focus, which is my purpose base. So as long as I'm putting out things that's purpose based, why not? You know, so hopefully now moving forward with like the wedding stuff out the way, school, me progressing in school, maybe it'll open up doors and leeway for opportunities for me to do more speaking engagements, you know, public speaking and stuff like that. I want to do that as well. It's one of my desires. I'd say. I want to speak before like more people in the sense of not just people, but like more of our at-risk youth population. Like that's my heart and soul, bro. That's one conversation I want to get into. That's my passion. Like when it comes to adolescents and kids, bro, like that's really my heart. So I definitely want to get in more spaces where I could reach more young people.
Now I want to pick your brain a little bit about this topic.
Right. Okay.
Fortunately, the past 2-3 years, there's just been a lot of death.
Oh yes.
Whether it's natural causes, unforeseen circumstances such as the pandemic, or unfortunately gun violence and murder. We lost a lot of people. I know. Did you like listen to like Vaughn and all these other artists that has been coming, like Juice WRLD?
Absolutely. I mean, I have an ear for it. I hear a lot of music. You know, working with teenagers and kids, you're gonna get put on. So it affects. You're gonna get put on to everything. So in a way, like a lot of those passings affect you. Slim 400 just passed away. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Young Dolph's death was very unfortunate because
Virgil Abloh.
You know, I mean, for me, it just go ahead.
So what is your mindset on death? That's the second question, pretty much. But like, where's your mindset with everything that's been going on? Focus on that, and like, how do you feel? Just like,
That's a real deep question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll try to answer it to my best ability. And it was so funny about this question. I'll probably think about it later at home. But man, I should have said this. But I'm gonna just give you what's on my mind right now. When I think about death, and I mean, I guess you could say like with these more influential figures such as like the Young Dolphs, the Vaughns, the Juice WRLDs, and all these young people that are inspired by these artists, musicians, or whatever talents they have presented here on Earth. I mean, it's very unfortunate because a lot of them die young. I feel like that's the saddest part about it, because a lot of them are, I feel like, expiring before their time. But, you know, everything does happen, unfortunately, in a mystical way for a reason. So, you know, there's really not a concrete answer for this question. But I say it's unfortunate because in an instance like somebody like a Young Dolph, me growing up, 16, 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, Calvin was listening to Young Dolph. Like, that's who I was listening to.
Yeah,
he was motivating me. He was inspiring me, like, independent, self-sufficient, built his brand up from the bottom. However, I mean, I'm not in his predicament. I was never in his camp. I was never in his personal life. But one thing I could take away from Dolph, which I felt like led to his demise, was just his arrogance. But that's what made people love him. But at the same time, when you got that chip on your shoulder and you just popping your lip and you in a city full of wolves, things like that tend to happen. So it's like he was successful. He was a pillar in his community. He was giving back. But at the end of the day, there's somebody out there that's envious. There's somebody out there that's starving. There's somebody out there that just wants what you got. And I feel like that's the same thing that happened with Nip as well, Nipsey Hussle. You know, King Von, you know, just not knowing when to separate the foolishness from star power. You know, he had great influence. He was making a name for himself. But you know, everybody has a time, everybody has a moment, you have a choice. And I don't know, like I said, it's a tough question. It's unfortunate. I know me personally, like those individuals, those deaths are like, wow, that's sad, and I know it impacted kids, but like I feel like a death that impacted me was my childhood friend with Sos. When Hanson passed away like that.
Rest in peace. That
messed me up because that was somebody I was with every day. Like, I'll be real, I'll be having like survivor's remorse. Like, you know, I was having this conversation with my godfather. My godfather had came down from Georgia for the wedding. And I was telling him, because he's successful. He's a very successful man. And I was telling him, I was like, you know, like, I know when you was growing up, there had to be a point in time in life where you had to shift from a lot of your peers. And you on the right path, you did the right thing, and you're in a good place in your life. But like, I know there's people behind you left that, you know, and we had that conversation. He told me it's real. Like, you're gonna feel that. It's a natural emotion. But don't let that hinder you. Just keep going forward. Like, keep pressing forward. So like, when we talk about death, I could talk about that because that was close. That was close to home, you know. And like I said, I struggle with that one. I still do. I'm still processing that death, you know. But it shows you that I'm human, you know. Because like, at the time, I'm the strong friend. So I always got to be strong. But that was one of those deaths that I'm still processing. I still think about it every day. Like, he's really gone. Like, you know.
And it was somebody like, we can say like we seen grow up or that we grew up with.
Yeah.
That had an actual, he had a name out here.
Right.
Pretty much.
You know, and I'm still lost to words. I'm still processing that. So that death impacted me. It put a lot of things into perspective for me. It made me appreciate a lot of the decisions I made at an early age. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and act like I'm still not bothered by it, you know, because it was just unfortunate.
Do you fear death?
At this point in my life, I would say me personally, not really. Because, you know, in my belief, it says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So I really believe, I reconciled a lot of my own issues. I mean, I'm not perfect, and I'm still striving to be better and be a better version of myself. But I feel like if it was a point in time, like, I'm ready to meet him, like, you know? Because, you know, the thing for me, and the foundation of my faith is really based on like this life is temporary. You know, we're going on to eternity. Like I'm looking onto things which are eternal. So for me, it's like, God forbid if it was my time to go, then I'm ready to go because that's what I'm striving for. I'm striving to go on with him. So that's just me. I mean, but at the same time, to be honest, like I don't fear it. Like I don't fear because like I don't know. I feel like I live a very calm life. So it's like I'm on point, but like at the same time,
well,
I don't know. It's weird.
I'll say for myself, like, do I fear death? No, because I do feel like if you live a righteous life, there's a possibility for better in the afterlife. I don't know how you feel about the afterlife, things like that. But it's not that I'm ready to go, but it's like I'm prepared. But it's like, you ever worry about how you might go? That's the main thing, and it sounds funny.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
It's so sad because we have influences and people such as Virgil Abloh passing. What's going on?
It stopped.
It stopped. How?
This one stopped. It said your shortage, your storage. I mean. This one's still recording.
All right, so I'm gonna just edit that.
Right. Okay.
So it's like people are passing away from natural causes, and then you just never know. Like you saying, somebody in your city might be envious or something like that. It's just some things like you really think about in life, and it's just like.
But I mean, that's why you gotta live every day like it's your last. You feel me? Love on those that love on you. And extend that love to somebody else because you don't really know what people be going through. And just to give you a little insight, even on the whole Sos situation, the thing about with me and Sos was like, me and him, with him being incarcerated for so long, we kind of lost connection. We haven't spoken in quite some time. So mind you, he just came home from doing practically like 9 years. So when he comes home, you know, he's around some of the guys, like people that I'm still have affiliation to some sort with, still speak to. So I'm like, I'm hearing he home and things like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know, but I'm still at my distance because like, I'm like, I don't know what he's on. I got to see what's up with him first. And he added me on Facebook. And I accepted it. But the day he added me, I was like, should I reach out to him? Like, I was hesitant. And it wasn't me being prideful. It was just I didn't know how he would receive me, being that I'm just not living the same no more. So I was like, I don't know if he'll be receptive to my message or anything. So I was real hesitant. And that hesitation robbed me of my possible last conversation with him. Because I promise you, not a day or two later, he passed.
So you didn't even really get to speak?
And that's one of the saddest parts about it.
It's tough. We back. So you didn't even get to speak to him while he was home yet. So
right. So you know, I try not to beat myself up about it, but you know, definitely one of those feelings is just like I should have acted on what I felt. You know, instead of second guessing myself, I should have still reached out. But I mean, you know, I don't know.
And there's leave them nameless, but there's other people that you know, that you might not be as close with anymore, that have recently, you know what I mean, they're home, fortunately, however people may feel. You know what I mean, you don't want to see anybody in jail,
right?
But when people do certain things, you just don't associate. But do you, your life has changed. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you know, I don't name drop for clout, but like, you know, these are just people I really rock with. Like, you know, like my boy Teak, I still talk to Teak every day. Like, there's certain people I still be in contact with. Like, I don't know, it's just like every relationship is different. Cause you know, there's some people that.
And what I was asking, you know what I was asking, pretty much.
What you mean, like?
People that, you know what I mean, do things to come home. And Teak ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I don't affiliate myself with because I just ain't that's not me no more. I don't really try to be engaging in no other conflict. I don't want to be associated with nothing that ain't got nothing that represent me in a sense. So like some stuff I just keep my distance just because some people just ain't grow or they ain't change or they just this stuff that's I guess presented as unhonorable. So as for myself, based off what you asked me, it's just like there's some people I still keep in contact with. There's still some people I got.
That's pretty much how I should ask. Would you keep in contact with somebody that?
I mean,
your life has changed, so it don't really affect you, really.
Necessarily. I mean, it's love. I mean, I won't shun nobody away. I'll never turn nobody away. But at the same time, I don't know. I be so locked in on what I got going on. It's like if you happen to be one of those that I get to, then that's what's up. But if I don't get to, it's not personal either. It's just like I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just like certain people I really connected with. Like I'm locked in with, regardless. Like I'm locked in with you. I'm locked in with Raymundo. Like I'm locked in with like day ones. Like regardless of what happened, what time goes by, the love is still always there because that connection, that foundation was already established. We built that years ago. So there's some people, that I had those type of relationships with that are non-existent now. There's some that I'm cordial with, and then there's some that I'm still like,
locked in.
Yeah, like what's good, bro? How you been? Da-da-da. How's the family? How's this? How's that? I try to show love to everybody. I mean, I'm always occupied, so sometimes me being occupied, people take it in a way as like I don't care for them no more, or maybe I don't rock with them no more. But that's not always the case. It's just I'll be busy, bro.
Everybody grows. Everybody has their own things going on. And you just hope everybody does well, no matter who it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I want to see everybody succeed. There's people I ain't talked to in years that sometimes I see certain things on social media and I'll be rejoicing. Like, I'll be like in my room clapping for them because I'm happy. You want to see people prosper, especially people you grew up with. So
all right.
We want to see everybody win.
That's definitely a fact, man. I don't want to see nobody in a bad situation, no matter what. You know what I mean? Everybody just do what they do, stay out the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We do what we do over here. Everybody do what they do over there.
Right. We salute.
Exactly.
We salute.
Now, just some final questions before we head out of here, man.
Right.
Just Mary, man, you got any family plans yet, or y'all still taking it slow on that, on the family thing?
I mean, whatever happens, man.
Yeah. But like, you having kids whenever thought. That's what I mean. Like, I
mean, when it happens, it happens. Yeah. Like, that's what I mean by that. When it happens, it happens. Like, I'm not running from it. I'm not scared of it. I'm not prolonging it or anything. Like, if it happens, it happens.
But there's just no plans right now. Just
living, bro. Just live. And
cool.
When it happens, it happens.
Word.
And
so what can we expect next? Because it's been a while. Is there anything like that set, or is it just everything's in the works right now?
Yeah, everything's in the works. Because like I said earlier, I don't really just have one egg in one basket. I got my eggs all over the place. But I feel like now that my life is never that my life was not structured, but now that it's more structured because like I'm on a new foundation. Like back then I was like building myself up. But now it's like I have new responsibilities. I have new obligations and new commitments. But with this commitment, this new foundation, I believe it's going to propel me forward because this is where I'm at now in my life. I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So the creativiness of my own, like my creativiness, I'll probably start bringing it to the forefront now. Hopefully I can do more things moving forward. Let my voice be out there more because, the thing about it is, for myself, I noticed that a lot of people have itchy ears. They want to hear what I have to say. Like people really do want to hear what I have to say.
Platform, man. I'll be a subscriber.
They want to hear my insight. They want to hear my thoughts or what I think about a situation or what are my thoughts on their situation or whatever. And but like I'm so, like I said, so like purpose based. Like I don't really be just trying to be out here just talking because I got lips. Like if I talk, I want it to be sound. I want it to be with purpose, and I want it to be that it pushes you forward. You may be in a position in your life where it's like stagnant or you don't know what to do, and then I say something or something comes from a thought or something I may say, and it may be like, you know what, that's what I needed. that's what I needed to move forward. That Cal, you said something that I needed, and I feed off of that. So whether it's a live stream, whether it's a broadcast, whether it's a podcast, I don't know. You see, only time will tell. But you know, I'm really doing the school thing, so school is really a priority for me as well. You know, I'm in the valley of decisions. I'm trying to decide what exactly career field I want to go into in the therapeutic realm of life, because I feel like those services are needed, especially now more than ever. Mental health is significantly high.
And we need more Black people in the mental health field.
More Black therapists, more Black psychologists, more Black psychiatrists as well, because, you know, there's a lot of stigma, a lot of miseducation, a lot of misinformed individuals out there, and there's a lot of people that need help. And hopefully, if, you know, that's how my deck of cards align, hopefully I'll be, you know, a clinician in the Valley and serve in the Valley, you know, because I was born and raised here, so I got to get back to where I'm from.
That's what your plans are. You just, everything come full circle?
Yeah, everything going to come full circle, you feel me? You know, I want to dip into, you know, philanthropy, you know, I want to give back. I want to be a big contributor to my community. So, you know, whether it's spiritually, whether it's clinically, whether it's just casually, you know, there's so much potential and so many barriers that we could break as long as we're determined and we really passionate about it. And like, I don't know, I'm trying to break generational curses. I'm trying to, you know, bring a change of some sort in areas in people's lives, because I feel like that's my sole mission here. So I had a real complex conversation with my godfather, because he's a good dude. He's been a criminal defense lawyer for like over 25 years, so he's very insightful. And we were talking, and he was like picking my brain and stuff like that. And he was just saying, you know, people give me a lot of slack because it's like you working somewhat or aligned with the system. But he said, you know, you could be that difference maker in that system. And that stuck with me. And I feel like with me working alongside a lot of local agencies, from the children and youths to local providers, I feel like this is all like preparing me. So when it's time for me to arise and that phase of my life comes, I'll be prepared. So Cal's in training. I'm learning, ever learning. I'm never not learning. You know, we definitely want to be informed, be alert, be aware. So as for myself, that kind of sound long-winded, but in the gist of everything, creativeness, you should expect more from me. Using my platform more, you should hear that from me. You should see that from me. And just whatever comes, bro. I'm down for the ride. I enjoy the process, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds.
Well, whatever you do, we riding with you.
Absolutely.
I'm with you all the way.
Absolutely.
And we supporting everything Cal's doing. So
Absolutely.
That's what it is. I'm looking forward to it. You want to give any apps where people could find some of your stuff? People could find 48 49 if they haven't seen it. Y'all motherfuckers should have seen it already. Y'all should have.
Right. I mean,
you want to introduce new people, so.
Right. My YouTube, I only got like 2 videos up on there, but my YouTube channel is my name, so it's Calvin Winder. That's where 40 Days and 40 Nights is at. It's on YouTube. Instagram, I think it's CalHF_, and then my Facebook and Twitter is the same as my Instagram, so it's CalHF_, and then Facebook is Calvin Winder III. So those are my social media platforms. I've been real quiet, but I'll be back making noise.
And that's why, with giving those out, since you want to be a person that reaches out to people, are people able to reach out to you? Are you open book that way?
I'm very open. I mean, I surprisingly, I get a lot of people that I really don't know personally reach out to me, whether they're acknowledging what I'm doing or they want to be a part of something that I'm doing, you know, from time to time, you know. But we live in a time where a lot of people are real timid, because, you know, you don't know a person. Especially if you really don't know a person, some people may come off as strong, intimidating. Some people may come off like, oh, you know, maybe he's a Christian, he's probably judgmental. But, you know, once you really get to know a person, but oh no, he's completely opposite of what I thought he was. So, I mean, I'm an open book. I'm very transparent. I'm always receptive to anybody, you know, that's seeking anything. You know, I believe that I'm here to share. So, you know, whatever wealth of information or anything I could share with anybody, I'm open to sharing. So,
I'm glad to hear that. So y'all already know, man. Y'all heard it from him himself.
right.
If y'all got anything y'all want to ask or just be informed about, his ads are there, and they will be provided in the description.
For sure.
But I definitely appreciate you coming through, my brother. I actually love that when you do have things to say that you do reach out to me. You're always going to be a welcome guest.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Hopefully we could do more projects, not even just with Space Network, whatever you doing with Space Network. Just
right.
I want to create more. You want to create, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. And
Absolutely.
we'll get shit cooking.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, me and Spacely here, we go back since 9th grade. There of high school, you know, so this ain't no overnight. I ain't just meet you off the internet. This is somebody I really grew up with. We graduated together, senior skip day together. We done did a lot of things together.
Man. Like, I was really so tight that I couldn't make it to the wedding. Our dad told her, like, y'all hope y'all like do like a little shindig or something. Y'all invite a couple friends or something out, because I want to be there. I actually want to see y'all together and be prosperous and just. I want to be around that love now. I mean, I just want to see.
I appreciate that. No, definitely. You know, she coming along with the missionary work as well. She got to work of her own too. So, you know, we gonna watch. I'm telling you, it's timing. You know, I learned what I would say from now compared to the last time I was on your podcast. From like the first 2 times I've been, now I'm a lot more mature. Not that I wasn't mature then, but I'm a lot
of time has passed. A lot of growth.
I've grown a lot since then, and I really realized with time, you have to respect time. You got to be patient. It sounds cliche. It sounds boring, but you have to be patient. And I don't really be quote crazy, but there's this one quote. I think, I don't know if it's Thomas Edison. I think Thomas Jefferson said it, but it said, everything comes to him who hustles while he waits. So as you're hustling, and you're waiting for your breakthrough, or you're waiting for that moment, just keep going. And that's the mindset I have. You know, it's easy to take the elevator. Nobody want to take the steps. But the steps is going to build character. That's what's going to make you. That's what's going to mold you. So you got to go through the
calf muscles.
You got to build up, you know. So when the time comes, you're prepared for whatever is coming your way. So, you know, we just want to stay locked in. We want to stay assertive. We want to stay aware. We just want to win. I mean, that's what I know. I want to win.
Yeah, I want to win too.
We want to win. So if you want to win, you got to do what the winners do. The winners sacrifice. They take a lot of time away from people. They take a lot away. They sacrifice a lot of their time. They sacrifice a lot. But in the end, the reward pays out. The payout is great.
The fruits of your labor will always be right.
So stay disciplined, stay focused, and stay out of people's face.
And that's what it is, man. This has been another episode of Space Station Conversations, and we out of here. Peace.